Check, 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 check.
All right, people are wandering in from the breakout sessions. Let's see, while we're doing that, how many people here are Metropolitan State students who are going to graduate this May? How many near graduates we got? Yes! Woo! Brilliant. Brilliant, thank you. Not graduate students, Metro State students who are still here. Can we see you, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, this event started and continues to be an opportunity for you. It's, we want to bring together all parts of this community and the larger community, but it's really about what you have to contribute, what you have to learn, and what you have to go out there and do. So thank you for being here. How many of our discussants are here, our room facilitators? Derek's here. Who else is here? Reyes. Who else is here? All right, you guys get a hand anyway. For sure, for sure. All right, who is willing to stand up and tell us what they're doing out of this day? Action that you're going to take. Who's got something? Yes.
So I went to the group on the mental health and chemical use one. It was awesome. Derek was awesome. Give him a round of applause. But no, so we had discussed about how we need to get housing for those people that are in the treatment programs. And we had discussed a bunch of different programs that are like advocates for that. So I plan on doing some research on that to see how I can become a part of trying to get more like housing available, since there's like minimum amounts of housing.
Great, thank you. There you go. That's a signed copy of one of Dr. Artika Tyner's books. Yes, please.
Who's up there? Okay.
All right, we talked about teen incarceration, and they're building a teen facility. That's what we decided. Essentially a teen prison. We want to either stop that. Right, we want to either stop that, we want to reform that, we want to get that, make that a positive thing, or a non-existent thing, one or the other.
Great, thank you.
Hold your mic closer to your mouth. Except me.
All yours. All right, great. Sam.
Others.
I was also in the youth incarceration group, and I'm definitely on board with that too. This new prison for the youth, it does not need to happen in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna be part of that.
Not in my watch. Others.
All right, who else has an action they are taking out of what you got to hear and do here today? What do you got? Paris.
Yeah, I was a rebel. I didn't go to the same group I went to this morning. And I'm really happy I sat in on that group. There was a good discussion, and the discussion was on specifics. What can you do? What are you able to do to really get yourself involved in bringing about change? In other words, it's one thing to point at the stars and say, wouldn't that be wonderful if we could do something with that. It's another thing to actually take concrete action and become involved and do something with the process to change the process, and it was amazing.
So what are you doing? What's your next action step, Paris?
Oh, well, I'm going to work with long-term homeless, and I'm actually going to, I was told when I was in law school that if you want a statute passed, write it and then find a legislator to sponsor it. So I'm going to write a statute that's going to take a comprehensive look at the two models for treating long-term homeless chemical dependency. One is GRH, group residential housing, and the other is individual independent housing. And we really do need to do a comprehensive study to see which is the true viable option.
Okay, please tell us what group you attended and what are you resolved to do from here?
this morning I attended the group for families with incarcerated individuals, and in the afternoon I was in the group with Raj. Hello? That's not on. Oh, it is on. Okay, so this morning I was in the group with our incarcerated families with members incarcerated, rather. And this afternoon I was in the group with Raj. But what I resolved to do is that, well, yesterday I had a second interview for a job where I would be going inside Stillwater, Lino, and Red Wing, doing employment preparation for post-release individuals. And if that doesn't happen, I'll still be involved with restorative justice. And also, I've been doing a lot of mentoring of other young men out there, because I have a history myself, and so I've been kind of back in the shadow, so to speak. But I'm just stepping out, and wherever I can be of assistance, I'm making myself available to those opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Others?
That's all the copies that we have of Dr. Tyner's book. But anybody else who wants to step up and say what you're doing?
But we can still continue conversation.
Absolutely.
Let's do this. Who else? Laura, you had something? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Laura. I just, are we still doing our groups, or are we talking about anything?
Action.
Action. Okay.
Action.
Okay. So I was in the afternoon implicit bias racism group, and I was really, it was really empowering to be with folks sharing, and I left just, I guess, hopeful, because so many people in the group were visionaries. And I also am going to take with me into the circle, into my work. I'm a criminal prosecutor, and don't start throwing the stones yet. And Raj knows me. There's a few good ones, believe it or not. And being here today just really has inspired me to continue with the action of what I'm trying to do, and that is we in the city of St. Paul have a lot of diversion going on, where every chance we can on low level and nonviolent offenses, we're working to divert those cases and not convict people. And we're working with organizations like Ujamaa Place, so that I can take a defendant in court, and instead of them being processed traditionally, go and hang out with the men's group over at Ujamaa Place for 6 weeks and get some mentoring. You do that, and then we're able to dismiss your case. So we're trying to do all those kinds of things. We're also looking at, right now, every decision point we make as prosecutors, where our own implicit bias may be showing up in our decision making. Having lots of tough conversations with the line lawyers, the team that I supervise. But anyway, like you guys, I wish there were more prosecutors here today, but I'm here, and I just really want you to know with all my heart, I feel full and energized, and I hear the voices here, and I'm just going to keep on bringing them into that courthouse. And thanks.
Thank you.
Others? I don't see any hands up, so I'm going to start calling you.
One down here, Raj.
Who's the hands up?
So I feel like the mass incarceration is so directly related to racism, and what I heard again today that I've got really reinforced for me was centering the leadership of people of color. And so that's kind of something that I want to do, is really center the leadership of people of color, as well as my own personal work in my own community, doing more work at looking at white privilege, and continuing that work with my group. Look at you. Here I am. No, thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Others? We're going to ask our one and only Craig.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, the one and only Raj. Yeah, I was, and I know some of you are in the group, I was part of the youth incarceration, and I have to tell you, we spent a lot of time talking about both explicit and implicit bias. And I agree with the previous speaker about the connection. But here's the thing that came out of this for me. We had a group of young people in that room, and I don't know what their ages were specifically, but my hunch is that they were at least high school and even pre-high school. Were they? Wow. What a powerful, dynamic group. We have to listen, okay? Because we had a lot of adults offering opinions, but those kids had a lot of things to say. Those kids were tuned in to these issues. Now, they maybe didn't have all the definitions down, but they knew what was going on. And they had some ideas. So one of the things for me that became apparent, I want to invite them back. Thank you.
And no, I just want to say it's Southside Family Charter. That's the second time here, and they're a social justice school. Their primary focus is social justice, and that's when you change the curriculum. Kids are engaged. They're brilliant. Kids are brilliant, and those are kids that are supposed to be challenged. Those kids are brilliant.
Now, we have the privilege of having the one and only Miss Jones here, and she's not even looking at me. So I'm gonna ask her to say a few words about. Yeah, I know she's on radio all the time.
Well, okay. Last night on the air, we had Salvador Miranda from Voices for Racial Justice and Kevin Reese, who is an inmate at Lino Lakes Prison. And we were talking on the phone, and as Kevin was talking, he gets 15-minute increments to talk on the phone. And he's making a very poignant point about how he's been locked up for 12 years of 22, and he's a really young guy. And as he's making this poignant point about his family and his life, it says you have 1 minute left. And he talks about the idea that he has 1 minute to relate to his son everything he wants to tell them, everything he wants to tell him that happened in a week. He has 1 minute to wrap up with his wife. He has 1 minute to tell his mother that he loves her. He has 1 minute. And that thing, I don't think it really goes for 1 minute because it seems like it says 1 minute. It doesn't. It seems like it 1 minute, but it doesn't seem like 1 minute. It seems like so fast. And so I recognize the need for people inside to be part of what's happening outside in the community. And I think it's time that we recognize that the United States is steeped in this ideology of white supremacy that suggests that everything good in the world is white and that everything black in the world is bad. And the minute we challenge that mythology, both in our daily living and in the way we approach things, and if we stop talking about people of color and people with challenges as people with deficits, and instead recognize the assets that they bring to the table, we'll have an entirely different helping system. But you being here today gives me hope that we can continue to do the work, that we can stay in the fight, and that more than just me recognizes black lives, they matter here.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. So it is never about achievement gap. It is always about opportunity gaps, right? Others. Where is my members?
We got time for maybe one more,
Okay,
Raj.
my group. Where's my group? I'm going to be selfish and ask my group. Okay.
I just wanted to thank the school and the faculty for allowing us to do a day like this because it involves, community members, it involves faculty, and it involves students, and then it involves young people to get the word out on what really is going on because I don't think we're aware. And I know as a white person in her 40s, I need to educate myself and understand what it is that people are going through so that we can start making change as friends, as calling each other family, and if we can do unto others as we do unto ourselves, that's key. And forums like this are just amazing. And thank you, Raj. It's been great.
Thank you so much. I don't want to miss, although I know it's at the bottom of everybody's, literally bottom, of everybody's agenda sheet. I just want to take a minute to appreciate everybody, not everybody, I'm not going to remember everybody, but many of those who helped made this possible today. When we started registering people for this, we sent out one announcement and suddenly we had 100 registrations and we went, uh-oh. And so it was a brilliant problem to have, and so many offices, student organizations, and others stepped up to make this possible. So I want to acknowledge the Alcohol and Drug Counseling Student Association, the American Democracy Project, the Center for Faculty Development, Damron Productions, and IcanU, all right? Sparky over here. The Human Services Department, the Institute for Community Engagement and Scholarship, the Interfaculty Organization, the Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Student Club, Student Life and Leadership in the Offices of Admission, Affirmative Action, that's Craig, thank you, Craig, the President, the Provost, and the Office of Safety and Security.
And Teresa Libby.
And well, now wait. Thank you, that's beautiful. But we also have to say, Jody Bantley back here from ISIS, this would not have happened without her. It would not have happened. Her colleague, Denny Yang, has been amazing. Is Denny there? I see you in the back there. He's done so much. The Secretary of the ADCSA, Brianna Hurley. Where are you, Brianna?
Yes.
Has been amazing. She organized all the room hosts. She organized the registration tables. I want to thank all the students who acted as room hosts today. Very much appreciated. All of our discussion facilitators. Thank you for stepping up and doing this. Yes, what are you pointing to? Who else am I thanking? I did acknowledge him earlier, but I'm more than happy to acknowledge T. David Starks again for his extraordinary work on this event. Extraordinary, extraordinary. Here, let me tell you one tiny story before you go. In January of 2014, I said to Raj, no, it wasn't even then. It was fall of 2013. I said to Raj, a little casually, you know what would be awesome is if we got some students from law enforcement and criminal justice, in particular the students in his diversity and criminal justice course, and some of our students in alcohol and drug counseling, particularly our practicum students who are getting ready to go out into the field, and had them read Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, and we had a little book discussion. And we got together to talk about it in January, and the next thing I know, this man's vision floods in, and we turn around in April. We have an event with 5 speakers, rotating table discussions, breakfast and lunch. Sorry, we didn't have breakfast this year. Breakfast and lunch, student orgs involved, campus offices involved, faculty, community. And it was like my seed of an idea got watered and nurtured by this man's vision, and that's what brought us here today. Raj.
No, this is a team effort, right? This is a team effort, and this is not about the program. This is about the issue. Let's keep the eyes on that prize, right? That is what we are about. We are not about accomplishing, having 300 people, so we don't celebrate that. We celebrate the fact that you all are here and you heard the issues and you're concerned and you are resolved to do something about it. Right? That's what matters. It is not the number of people who come, but keep people coming to these types of programs and issues, because we do find some solidarity in coming with people who really believe in fighting and struggling against that issue. The choir needs nurturing, right? We got to come together. But that is not the be-all, end-all. We got to take that strength, that energy, move forward in that field, and approach the allies, and build that allies, build those bridges, and fight the structural issues, right? And also address what systematically you and I can change. We all have that strength, that ability. I asked a man, one of the men in Stillwater Prison, what do you want us to do on the outside? And this guy looked at me, he said, I want you all to listen, I want you to learn, and then, and only then, I want you to lead. Right? Listen, learn, and then lead. Right? We create positions and we appoint people and we expect them to take off and lead. And the system just keeps repeating. Right? So let's stop that insanity. You have the power. You have the ability. You have a community to work towards that. And Dr. Libby has been one of those people. Right? She has always supported change. In her program, she's always willing and wanting to think outside that box. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll have one of these next year. So be ready.
See you next year.
See y'all next year.
Go out there, do the work.
Do the work, please.
And we'll get together again next year.
It's all about the love. Love you guys. Thank y'all. Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay. Oh, great. Thank you.
I might be able to bring a judge or two from drug court.
Fantastic. Fantastic, sir.
Or a legislator.
Okay. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice job.
I'm from all over, man. All over?
I was guessing West Indies.
Louisiana, Texas, Singapore, yeah.
Where do you get your accent from?
Oh, God, I got a mixed bag. So partly Asian.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Take it easy.
All right. All right.
I want to thank you. I was the one pestering you with emails, making sure I would get into the program because there weren't any tickets, and I found them at the last minute.
Okay.
My other
Thank
half
you.
is Sparky.
Okay. Oh, good.